The vaccine passport gravy train down in Florida may soon be coming to an end as the governor of the state looks to overturn the ruling which allows cruise lines to ask for vaccination status within the state. One major cruise line is claiming they will be 100% operational by April of next year. A brand new US cruise line will take their very first journey. Today, we'll tell you who it is. Plus, Canadians are getting desperate to make it aboard their cruise vacations. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the rollout of vaccinations that is causing many Canadian citizens to have major problems in regards to their upcoming travel. All this coming up on Midships. Hey, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey, so glad you joined us today. As we're getting started, I want to remind you, our cruise swag giveaway is currently going on. If you'd like to be entered for your chance to win this super convenient travel cable organizer, this thing is totally awesome. I took it on my MSC Divina cruise and it was absolutely wonderful to use. Great spot to organize your USBs or your hubs, as well as some additional storage and some cable organizers for you as well. To enter to win, all you have to do is visit the link in the description below. I'll also pin it in this upper right-hand corner if you're on a mobile device. Just watch the video that the link takes you to. Within about the first 2 minutes, it will tell you exactly how to enter. Oh, and a quick reminder, if you'd like to see more pictures and color options available for any of the cruise swag we give away on the channel, like the cable organizer, passport holder, or seasickness anti-nausea wristbands, there are Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Just click the link, it'll take you straight to Amazon. Your price will be the same, even if you don't buy anything. It does help the channel just a little bit. A quick reminder, I'm only 10 days away now from my next cruise aboard Carnival Elation. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to take a look inside this little bit older ship that's been recently refurbished just a little bit before the pandemic began. We're going to hop into today's cruise news by talking about a brand new cruise line that is set to sail out of Miami, Florida today with their very first cruise with paying passengers out of the United States. Any guesses as to which cruise line that is? I bet most of you know, but if you don't, we're going to learn about them now. From thepointsguy.com by author Gene Sloan. Virgin Voyages is finally starting up cruising out of Miami after more than a year of delays. The much-awaited start to Virgin Voyages sailings out of Florida is finally here. After many delays that pushed back the worldwide debut by over a year, the much-anticipated new cruise brand backed by Richard Branson today kicks off with their first sailing out of Miami, its base for North American operations. The 4-night voyage will take place on the line's first ship, the Scarlet Lady, and feature calls to Nassau in the Bahamas and to the Bahamian island of Bimini. As a side note, I will be on Bimini about 12 days from now. I'm going to take some awesome pictures and video in case you guys have never been there. This year, Carnival's decided to expand their itineraries there, so it's something that you're going to be seeing more and more of, so I feel like it's a good opportunity to share the island with you guys. Since plans for Virgin Voyages, initially called Virgin Cruises, were first announced in 2014, the brand has been promising to shake things up in the cruise world with a lively, adult-focused onboard experience that it has said would be unlike anything else in cruising. So that's the big news today coming out of Miami, Florida. And that's not the only cruise news coming out of the Sunshine State today. Florida's governor has recently asked a judge to overturn the Norwegian cruise line ruling that allows cruise lines to ask for your vaccine status in the state of Florida. Let's learn a little bit more and see just how much this could affect cruising going forward. From Orlando Weekly, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis looks to overturn cruise line exemptions to vaccine passport bans. The governor's administration has asked a federal appeals court to toss out a preliminary injunction that allowed Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings to require passengers to show documentation that they have been vaccinated against COVID-19. Attorneys for the governor filed a 69-page brief on Monday at the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which is up in Atlanta, Georgia, backing a new state law that seeks to bar businesses from requiring such documentation, what has become known by the layman's term as vaccine passports. Norwegian filed a federal lawsuit challenging the law, and U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams issued a preliminary injunction back in August, finding that the measure violates the First Amendment and the Dormant Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. But attorneys for the DeSantis administration wrote in Monday's brief that the law is an economic regulation that does not implicate the First Amendment. Amendment. DeSantis argues the law simply prohibits businesses from conditioning services on customers providing documentation certifying a vaccination status. Norwegian may still request that documentation from its customers, and its customers may voluntarily provide it, and both parties are free to discuss the topic. What Norwegian may not do is deny service to customers who fail to provide that documentation. So this is getting spicy once again. You remember Frank Del Rio came down hard against people who didn't have vaccinations, to the point where he frankly rubbed me the wrong way with how close-minded and narrow-minded he was towards a lot of people. So let me break down for you exactly what's going on here. So the Florida governor is essentially asking the judge to nullify her previous decision and just go ahead and throw it out in an effort to level the playing field and better protect all citizens in the state of Florida, in the governor's opinion. So we're just going to have to sit back and wait and see if anything comes of this. It's my personal opinion that the ruling's not going to change here in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the only place we would see a change to this would be up at the Supreme Court itself, which could take months to come to a decision. Since we're already talking about Norwegian Cruise Lines, let's stay on the topic because they recently made a bold announcement about their restart plans, and I'd like to share that with you now. From CNBC News by Robert Towie. Norwegian Cruise Line set to launch full fleet by April for the first time since the pandemic shutdown orders, according to their CEO. And here is the man, Frank Del Rio. Look at those glasses. Norwegian Cruise Line CEO Frank Del Rio said Tuesday that his full fleet of 28 ships will resume service by April 1st for the first time since the pandemic anchored most of the cruise industry across the world, with 75% of the company's vessels returning to operations by the end of just this year. Norwegian currently has 8 ships in service across its 3 brands, and all on board must provide proof of full vaccination before setting sail. I'll read a quote from Del Rio. "If anything, the world is opening up. More people are getting vaccinated. Pent-up demand continues to be very, very strong for the sailings we've operated thus far. Norwegian requires all passengers and crew to be vaccinated before boarding and is not allowing any unvaccinated children who aren't yet eligible for the shots to sail. Those under 12 are not allowed to receive their COVID shots. However, Pfizer submitted data to the FDA last month in hopes of receiving an emergency use authorization to administer vaccinations to children between 5 and 11 years old. If approved, Del Rio said fully immunized children in that age group would then be allowed to cruise with their line. The FDA will review Pfizer's findings at a meeting October 26th, and vaccines could roll out to the 5 to 11-year-old group as soon as Halloween. Miami-based Norwegian Cruise Lines has clashed with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the summer regarding the state's law banning businesses from demanding proof of vaccination from their customers. And that judge's injunction actually preserved it across all of the cruise lines operating in Florida who are currently asking your vaccine status. Despite the cruise line's stringent vaccine protocols, Del Rio said COVID booster shots are not yet required for passengers or employees, but he said Norwegian could either mandate boosters if the pandemic worsens or adjust the company's existing vaccine guidelines as the pandemic wanes and more people immunize against the virus. Am I missing something here? Do you guys like Frank Del Rio? I'd really like to hear your opinions down in the comment. There's something about this guy. He gets under my skin every time I see or hear from him. Please go ahead and comment below your opinions on Frank Del Rio. Canadian cruisers are scrambling to get fully vaccinated in time for their vacations, and many are desperate enough to say, I will just pay for this. Please let me have the vaccine. Let's read a story coming out of Canada that details the troubles Canadian citizens are having because of the botched rollouts of vaccines up in their country. From Toronto, ctvnews.ca by Pat Foran. Ontario woman says she'll pay for third vaccine dose so she'll be allowed on a cruise ship. Canadians who are planning holidays are faced with a difficult decision if they have mixed vaccines, especially if one of them is the AstraZeneca shot. We have a quote here from one of those Canadians. "I'm frustrated and don't know what to do," said Brenda Moore. Moore and her husband Jeff have been on cruises before and wanted to invite their extended family, a group of 11, on a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They booked the trip for January 2022 and paid for the flight, the hotel, and the cruise, only to find out the Princess Cruise Lines doesn't recognize certain mixed vaccines that include AstraZeneca. Out of the group of 11, only Moore has the AstraZeneca vaccine, and she has been told she will not be allowed on the ship. Moore said she had her travel agent reach out to the cruise line, and they basically said they don't care. Moore received the Pfizer vaccine as her second dose and would like to receive another Pfizer shot, which would allow her to travel. It's something she said she would gladly pay for. I'll gladly take one. I'll take a booster. They should be offering that for anyone who needs a vaccine to travel. Back in March of 2021, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the bottom line for Canadians is the right vaccine for you is to take the very first vaccine that you're offered. Something that's clearly coming back to haunt many Canadian citizens. Martin Firestone, the president of Travel Secure Incorporated, said many of his clients feel misled that they were told to take the first shot that was available to them. Martin says, "They are concerned that our government said whatever comes first is the one you go for, and now it appears that may not be the correct answer. They may not be able to get away, at least not on a cruise ship." The province of British Columbia already stated it will not offer a third shot for those who want it for travel, but Quebec has said they will offer a booster to anyone who needs it for travel purposes. Firestone went on to say, "We are lacking consistency right now between all the provinces, where Quebecers say you have to have a third shot." So Brenda and Jeff, I'm so sorry to hear about this vaccination quandary that you find yourself stuck in. I wish you the best in finding that extra dose of Pfizer. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. It might be worth traveling to get if you got your heart set on that cruise. The world of Jamaican cruises is opening back up, and there's some really good news by the two largest carriers sailing from the United States. From cruiseindustrynews.com, Jamaica preparing for cruise calls by Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Jamaican authorities said that the country is eagerly preparing for the resumption of cruise calls by Royal Caribbean beginning in November, as well as more than 110 planned cruise ship visits from October through April of 2022 by Carnival Cruise Line. Both Carnival and Royal are critical partners for Jamaica's tourism sector and the destination's wider economic recovery. According to a press release, Royal Caribbean intends to resume cruises with limited operations as of November, following over a year-and-a-half hiatus due to the pandemic. Calls to Jamaica from the line have the potential to bring tens of thousands of passengers to the destination. Plans from Carnival include more than 110 ship visits by its various brands that could carry more than 200,000 visitors to the island between October and April of 2022. So the cruise restart is on. We're so excited to get cruising back down to Jamaica. Now there's a few side stories today. I'm just going to list them through really quickly. The Disney Magic has finished her season over in the UK and is on her way to the port of Miami to begin her new season on October 28th. In other news, the MSC Group has begun construction on another ultra-luxury cruiser. A steel cutting ceremony was held in the Fincantieri shipyards to celebrate the beginning of construction of Explorer 2, the line's second luxury-based ship, who's currently set to welcome guests in the spring of 2024. If you made it this far into today's episode, why haven't you subscribed yet? I see you. I'm looking at you. You watch me all the time. Just hit the subscribe button. While you're down there, if you absolutely love cruising, it helps us out so very much if you hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate you stopping by the channel today, and until tomorrow, we'll see you on the Midships.